So how many of you have memorized Surah Al-Mulk? What's so special about Surah Al-Mulk? That there were so many requests about it. Now let's come, what is the virtues of it? Who said so? As we said, number one, and this, it's a weak hadith, but the meaning of it is very beautiful. And he said, كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يحب هذه السورة. And Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam loved it because it has so many description of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and so many knowledge for us in a very short. And he said, it's a weak hadith, but he said, I wish, wadadtu, I love to see it in the chest of every Muslim. That's why I asked you how many of you memorized it. I love to see it. Do you really love Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam? How many of you love Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam? Is that why you're asking? Then when you love someone, don't you do what they love? Don't you do what they love? That's the love. He said, I wish, I love to see it in the heart of every human being. By the way, it's not a difficult one to memorize. It's 2.5 pages, and it's not very difficult. It doesn't have like these words, or the only thing, it doesn't have any story. But it's not very difficult. If you literally listen to it every night before you go to bed, now you're reading it. Imagine after 40 days you have been reading it every night. Every night, Allah will put it in your heart. Subhanallah. So that's number one, right? The other one, I'm going to tell you a lot. This is a hadith of Sayyidina Abu Hurairah, and it's actually in At-Tirmidhi and Imam Ahmad. He said, إن سورة في القرآن 30 آية شفعت لصاحبها حتى غفر له تبارك الذي بيده الملك. There is a chapter in the Quran, 30 verses, 30. شفعت لصاحبها, meaning intercede for the one, صاحبها, meaning the person who knows it, the person who carries it. When you say my friend, it's a close relationship. الصاحب in the Arabic language mean a friend, a close friend, or the owner. So are you صاحب الملك? Is الملك تصحبك? Is the mulk walk with you? By Ramadan, you should have plenty of time to memorize it. Plenty of time. If you do every day, listen to me, every day, one verse, 1 month you're done. It's 30 verses. It's not like 100 or 200. 30 every day. Start from today. تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير. Done. Keep listening. Keep reading. And read it in your salah. And if you don't have it yet very strong, read it in your sunnah. Put the Quran in front of you and register it in your brain. That's how we always memorize the Quran. The picture of where the verse is has to have literally to register in your brain. Because when you come and read it from memory, the only thing you see is where is it in the Quran. And when you forget, you always say, is it on the right or it's on the left? Is it on top or in the lower? So make this as, inshallah, I don't want to say homework, but inshallah, it's a plan. I don't want to say a promise because I don't want you not to keep the promise, but I'm going to beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make me do it. The people who memorize it, not better than you. This is how I say it. No. If you can read, they can read. If you can remember, they can remember. So the first one, he says, first is a surah, I wish it is in the hearts of every Muslim. Ya Rabbi, make us among them. Second is, it's a chapter in the Quran will intercede for you and me. Third, a chapter in the Quran. There is a chapter in the Quran argued for its sahib, same word, argued for the person who has it as a friend carrying it. It's argued for you till you enter Jannah. Till you enter Jannah. Why you don't have it yet? Why don't you have it in your heart yet? One verse, daily, 30 days, you're done. How many songs you have memorized? Don't show me hands, I don't want to know. But ask yourself, honestly, ask yourself, if you are able to memorize a song, then you can memorize Surah Al-Mulk. It needs what? Repetition. Read, repetition, and hear. and enjoy. That's why I always say, find a reciter that you really enjoy his recitation. It hits you. Perfect, because then you will keep listening and moves you. And kullahum beauty, but everybody has a different taste. So the second thing, you want someone on the Day of Judgment, believe me, we all want someone on the Day of Judgment to argue for us, to defend us, and it will, right? So that's the second one. Now, look, listen to this one. This is Abdullah ibn Abbas. He said, some of the companions of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam put a tent on the ground. And as they were in the tent, they heard someone reading Al-Mulk. And they went to Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam and said, Ya Rasulullah, we went and put a tent on this ground. We didn't know there was a grave under us. And we heard from the grave, we heard someone reading Al-Mulk. We heard someone read it till the end. قال الرسول عليه الصلاة والسلام هي المانعة هي المنجية تنجيه من عذاب القبر. هي المانعة is the one who will prevent. هي المنجية, the one which will save. I think this is way more enough for you and me too. Yes. And you know what? Bring your family. Bring your daughters. If you do it after Isha every night, how long it takes you to memorize one verse, you think? One verse. For those who don't know Arabic, let's not talk about the people who know Arabic. Because if you know Arabic, it's much easier. May Allah forgive us. How long it takes you? Maximum 30 minutes. Maximum 30 minutes. If you want to read, the usual way to memorize is you read it at least 7 times. You read it 7 times, and it's the same mushaf, the same Quran. You read. While you still have an issue with saying, fine, listen, one verse. Listen and say after. Let's do it every night. After Isha, after Maghrib, after Fajr, it depends who you are. I'm not going to say after Dhuhr, after Asr, unless you don't work. And this is the best time for you during the day. But most of us, this is a busy time. 2.5 pages, 30 verses only.